Welcome everyone to our Sabbath School and Personal Ministries reporting training this evening. I'm so glad you've joined us. Let us open with a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I thank you for the opportunity that we have to meet together online this evening. Lord, I pray that your Holy Spirit would guide us during the session. Lord, I pray that this would be a helpful session to each one of us. Lord, I pray for your blessing and your presence now in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the attendance this evening. So just as an outline for this evening's session, I would like us to firstly look at the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries record card. And then after looking at the Sabbath School record card, then we will look into the Sabbath School quarterly report, and then also the Personal Ministries quarterly report from the local church. We'll also briefly touch on the VOP Community Bible School Bible Coordinator report, just as it relates to the Personal Ministries report. I just want to show you what that looks like. Okay, well, let's jump straight into the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries record card. This one here. These are available at the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries office at the Western Region office in Somerset West. And for any churches that need them, any pastors or the relevant leaders can contact us, and we will make it, we'll even send it to the church, and we'll cover the cost for that. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, I hope you can see the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries class record card on the screen. So this is what it looks like. As you can see there, each class would have, it's a class record. So each class would need to have this record card and the card is for the duration of 1 year. So January to December of each year. You can indicate there who the teacher is and the Sabbath School division. Indicates here the teacher's 4-point procedure after welcoming the class, introducing the visitors. There's a brief mission appeal, taking up the offering, and then to record the attendance and the witnessing report. We'll look at that in the actual Sabbath School record card, or Sabbath School and Personal Ministries record card. And then the idea is this helps with follow-up. So if people are not present in the meeting or in the Sabbath School class, that one can follow up with, assign members to follow up with those who are not in attendance, to ensure that, if there's a challenge or support is needed, that is provided. So as it indicates here, the Sabbath School class records is designed for use throughout the entire year. For the later 6 months, fold page 5 were indicated by the arrows. Now, in our record cards, there's no arrows for some reason, but you can just fold that page so that you can see the names of the prospect or the members of the class, and then you can see from July going forward, because the names, as you'll see here, the names are on this page, but it goes from January to June. So you'll have to still see the class member names. So you just have to fold this page on the right over so that you can see the July part, but still see the names, if that makes sense. Okay, active members. So the next page here, you'll see says prospective members. Prospective members include church members who do not attend Sabbath school, visitors, and others for whom the church is working. They are usually assigned to the class by the Sabbath School Council. And those would go in the prospective member section of the record card. When a prospective member indicates a desire to become a regular member, his name is included on the regular class list and it is deleted from the prospective list. So in other words, prospective members of the Sabbath School class would go on this page, but when they indicate a desire to be a regular member, then one deletes them there and transfers them onto the actual class member list here on that page. Okay, regular members. At the beginning of the year, the secretary, that's the Sabbath School secretary, should inscribe the names and phone numbers of all members assigned to this class by the Sabbath School Council, transferring the data from previous class records. When new members are added to the class, names and phone numbers should be given to the secretary on a slip of paper to be properly inscribed in the class record and in the secretary's records. Names should not be deleted from the class record except by action of the Sabbath School Council. I like this one, class goal for souls. It is recommended that each class set its own goal for souls for the year, inscribing the goal on the front cover of the class record. Keep the goal within reach, then pray and work to accomplish the goal. Now, ultimately, our work as a church is about discipleship, making disciples. And the Sabbath School can really play an important part in making disciples, educating people about a relationship with Jesus. And it's a small group that's already part of the church's structure to nurture new believers, to train them. So we can really harness the potential of the Sabbath School class. Okay, let me just move over to this page here. So on this page, you'll see, okay, class members go on the left, phone numbers, and then the Sabbath School attendance is recorded over here to tick those who are in the class on those days. At the bottom section here on the bottom left, you'll see, okay, members present for that particular Sabbath, total of the members present, any visitors in the class, how many visitors, and then the total attendance. So maybe it's 8 members present, 2 visitors, total attendance 10, for example. And then I think something that we've lost sight of, in my experience, maybe other churches have been continuing this, but the encouragement is still to record this in the class. How many Bible studies have been given by the members of the class? How many pieces of literature have been given? Any lay seminars or campaigns that have been conducted? Bible school enrollments. Now, this would not be if your church has a community Bible school. There's a separate report for that one. So this would be, let's say, non-CBS Bible school enrollments and Bible school graduates. And then baptisms resulting from work of laypersons can also be indicated there. And then also the recording of the mission offering that is taken. So this would go all the way. So you would have a record of this for each week of the year. And then there's the rest of the months of the year. Okay, let me stop sharing. So that's the Sabbath School record card. Why I want to share that with you is because when you fill out the Sabbath School quarterly report or the personal ministries quarterly report, you're going to need information that is on this record card. Let me share the Sabbath School reporting first. Okay, so hope you can see the Sabbath School report, the quarter end report in front of you. So the due date for the report is the 7th, let's say the close of the quarter, January to March, for example. Then by the 7th of the next month, that would be the 7th of April, the report is due. And so on every quarter, within 7 days of the close of the quarter to submit the report. Sabbath School Secretary can submit the report to the Western Region office, the SSPM office, and you can email Lieder van Tonder, who's the secretary for the department, on the email address provided. On the report, include name of the local church, the name of the Sabbath school secretary who's filling out the form, cell phone number, email address, which quarter are you reporting on, and the quarter ending March 2026, for example, and then the date you submitted the report. So reportable items. Now, what I've included in this report, I need to also make a report based on the reports received from the Western region, from all the local churches in the Western region. I need to report to the union. Now, all that I need to report to the union is included in this report, and there are a few other things that I've also included here. So the number of Sabbath school branches. Now, I'll read through the explanatory note. So what I've done in this report is to try explain what I'm requiring in each aspect of the report. So, number of Sabbath school branches. A branch Sabbath school is an evangelistic type of service conducted primarily for the benefit of non-Seventh-day Adventists. Branch Sabbath school is an evangelistic endeavor using Sabbath school materials, hence being part of the Sabbath school report. It may be held on any day of the week. That's from the Sabbath School Handbook, page 86. There are two types of branch Sabbath schools. Number one, a church planting branch Sabbath school. This type of branch Sabbath school is held on Sabbath at the same time as the regular Sabbath school, using the same materials, but in another location. So people would conduct the Sabbath school, and then they will come back to church. Its purpose is to establish a new Sabbath school and eventually a new church. So it's a church planting initiative using the branch Sabbath school. The second type of branch Sabbath school is an outreach branch Sabbath school. This is evangelistic in nature and may be conducted on any day of the week. So the purpose is not church planting, but the purpose is evangelism. It is designed to create spiritual interest and bring souls to a saving relationship with Jesus. It may be conducted for children, youth, or adults. So if you have any of those in your church, those two types of branch Sabbath school branches, you can indicate how many do you have? 1, 2, etc., or 0 if you don't have. And then a breakdown of the Sabbath school divisions in the local church. So a Sabbath school division, here are the divisions that we have in the church. Babies, beginner, kindergarten, primary, junior, teens, youth, young adult, and also extension division. Now, the extension division cares for the needs of shut-ins and those who live in isolated places and cannot regularly attend church. So if the church has an extension division, you provide Sabbath school ministry to those Sorry about that. My internet connection I lost internet connection. I'll quickly share my screen again. Okay, there we go. So this next question, number of Sabbath school divisions in the local church, that is simply counting, let's say you've got beginner, kindergarten, primary, junior, and teens, and adult, then you just say, okay, that's 5 divisions, etc. You put the number down there. Then number of Sabbath school classes in the local church. So this would be different from the number of divisions, because one division may have a number of Sabbath school classes, especially the adult division. Maybe the church has 3 adult Sabbath school classes, but it's still the adult division. So the number of all the Sabbath school classes in the local church, you can put the number down there. And then number of Sabbath school action units. Now, this is really something I would encourage the Sabbath school department to work towards, where our Sabbath school classes become Sabbath school action units. So the explanatory note here is, please indicate the number of local church Sabbath school classes functioning as Sabbath school action units. Now, the Sabbath school handbook, page 99, says a Sabbath school action unit is a small group Sabbath school class organized in a way that provides time for sharing, Bible study, and systematic planning for outreach. So each Sabbath school class, in addition to the class teacher, also has an outreach leader that facilitates the planning of outreach as a class and provides the necessary outreach training for class members. So this is a Sabbath school action unit. Yes, there's the Bible study, but there's more. There's the sharing, there's the planning for outreach, there's the training. So how many of your Sabbath school classes are functioning as Sabbath school action units? You can put it there. If none are, 0. If 2, etc., you can put the number over there. This next section, I've said here, information from Sabbath school and personal ministries, record cards, and Sabbath school teachers. Okay, so from the record card that we've just been through, firstly, you can indicate number of Sabbath school classes that utilize the Sabbath school record card. So you would know how many record cards are being used as a Sabbath school secretary, because you're the ones that needed to distribute it to the different classes. You can indicate there. Then Sabbath school membership in the local church. So Sabbath school membership is all class members of all Sabbath school classes, ideally as listed in the Sabbath school and personal ministries class record cards. Now we saw the list, there's prospective members, but there's also class members. So my understanding here is you add up all the class members from the various class records and you put the total number there for your Sabbath school membership in the local church. Then the next item is number of Sabbath school members who daily study their Sabbath school lesson. Maybe we can also talk about how best to go about finding out that number. I've just put here, based on feedback from Sabbath school teachers, please estimate how many Sabbath school members in the local church study their Sabbath school lesson daily. Maybe one can do a survey amongst the teachers once a quarter, could do a survey to estimate that. Maybe you can give me some feedback on that as well. Then number of Sabbath school members involved in mission, total member involvement. So every member is called to become actively involved in making disciples using Christ's method. This is what the church, the worldwide church, is encouraging, global TMI. So considering the record cards, there are activities, how are people witnessing, are they giving Bible studies, pieces of literature given. I think you could get indication of how active people are there. So considering the record cards and feedback from Sabbath school teachers or outreach coordinators, if you are using Sabbath school action units, please estimate how many Sabbath school members in the local church are actively involved in making disciples. Again, maybe a survey could work. You can also share ideas with me how to determine that number. Let me jump to the personal ministries report. Here we go. Sorry, let me share my screen again. Let me just add this note here. So these forms that the Sabbath school secretary and now the personal ministry secretary should complete every quarter, they're also available on as a Google form. So either you can fill out this document or print it out, fill it out and scan it and email it, or you can use the Google form to complete, whichever is easier for you. So again, the same information or similar just now with the personal ministries secretaries details. Also the timing of the report for personal ministries report, exactly the same as the Sabbath school secretaries, the quarterly report. So the reportable items on the personal ministries report. So number of members in the local church involved in personal ministries. That is a required question or a information. Okay, I see the question, where do we get these forms? I have shared these forms with the pastors and also on our Sabbath School and Personal Ministries WhatsApp group. If you don't have it, you're welcome just to reach out to me and I can share them with you. So number of members in the local church involved in personal ministries. Again, how does one indicate that, or how does one determine that? Honestly, I'm not quite sure. Maybe when you see how many people are actively involved in the initiatives, outreach initiatives in the church, perhaps. Number of community service units functioning within the local church. Okay, this one is interesting. So this is referring to the number of local church departments, ministries, or organizations in the church, such as Adventist Community Services, Dorcas Society, or Adventist Men, actively involved in community service. So if you think of your local church, those providing community services, how many different departments, ministries, or organizations in the church are doing that? And then you can record. So maybe it's 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, just looking on the chat there. Then information from the Sabbath School and Personal Ministries class record cards. Again, the same record card that is completed during the Sabbath School time. So for these those 6 different aspects, as we went through the record card, that bottom left section of the record card from January to December, you'll see what I've listed here is exactly the same as the record card. Bible studies given, pieces of literature given, lay seminar or campaigns conducted, Bible school enrollments. Just clarifying, they're not via local church CBS or community Bible school from VOP. Bible school graduates, not from a VOP community Bible school, and baptisms resulting from work of laypersons. So how one gets these figures is you look at your quarter after it has been completed in the record cards, and then you add up the weekly figures of the different witnessing activities. So every week you should have a number. Okay, Bible studies given, you should have 12 or 13 Sabbaths completed there for January to March, for example. And then you just add all of those, that row for January to March, add that up and just total it there. Maybe 18 Bible studies given, 200 pieces of literature, etc. Then this last section, information from the local church VOP community Bible school. Now this is really something I would encourage every church to have, is a Voice of Prophecy community Bible school where, let me not go into the details, but where the local church has a Bible school coordinator and you run your own Bible study ministry using VOP lessons. So there's 2 different models one can use for this. But every quarter, the Bible school coordinator, if your local church has a community Bible school, every quarter the Bible school coordinator needs to submit a report. So from that report, the personal ministry secretary would need to get this information in this next section. And I'll show you what that report looks like. So new enrollments. So new enrollments are the total of new adult students enrolled and new children students enrolled, as indicated in the CBS coordinator's quarterly report. So VOP has lessons for children, for adults. So the report indicates those two categories. So you just need to add those two up for how much for the quarter. Then graduates, if one or more graduations were held in the quarter, and that would also be indicated in the coordinator's report, then you would need to engage with the CBS coordinator to provide you with a number of graduates, because they would know how many people have graduated at that graduation. Then baptisms. This is the number of persons baptized during the quarter as a direct result of the work of the VOP Community Bible School. And this will also be indicated in the CBS coordinator's quarterly report. So this is not general baptisms that the church has had, but directly related as a result of the Community Bible School. I will show you what that report looks like so that you're aware of it. So let me share that form with you as well. Okay, so this is if your local church has a community Bible school, this is the report that needs to be submitted at the end of each quarter. So number of new adult students enrolled, number of new children students enrolled. So for the personal ministries report, you'll need to add number 1 and 2 together and put it in the first block there. Then it goes through other information, how many courses were completed for adults and children, how many students were visited, VOP rallies. So personal ministries report doesn't need any of that information. Number of graduations held, that is the information you need there. And then more details to that, like how many graduates were there. And then number of enrollment drives held, not applicable for personal ministries report. Number of students baptized. So that would be needed for the personal ministries report. So then back to the personal ministries report. So the personal ministry secretary, we need to gather this first section, the information about how many people involved in personal ministries, the number of community service units functioning in the church. Then they would get the next source of information from the record cards, just complete the totals there from each of the class for all the classes in the church. And then the last section, they'll receive that information from the Community Bible School report.